the recording yet. Whoops. Alright, quick TLDR. Halved all the respawn timers. Took away one of these because it got blown up, so keeping the HE because I had destroyed the cluster. Marked up the map, added some green zones to reflect what they got last time. Set these 5, I had a spare site there and a site up here I needed to delete. Added 2 linebackers, halved all of these respawn times. And now we're going to focus on the AOs that are marked here and getting them garrisoned. So let me go and actually reference my phone real quick. And right out, Gondor, if you give me a few days, we're going to have a chat on what we specifically want to make for your community. I just need to get all this other stuff taken care of. I'm a little behind. I was supposed to have at least 6.5 hours over the weekend to work on stuff, and it all got taken away from me. Which, I mean, that's still my fault, but, you know, I wanted to be social. Why do I have written here 40 AO per AO? That's meant to be infantry. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this shit set up. So, right off the bat... each one of these markers is a quote-unquote AO. So let me map out everything I need to spawn on them. And then per week, I know we also have these, which we might move over to site duty instead. So let me go ahead and put both of these AA teams around here. Because this is, I think, the only site we have left. The other one I have is an AI training facility. Yeah, which I said I'd refund, so there's going to be 2 this week. I'll hide one in here. Technically, it won't need air defense because it's kind of covered in its own right. Second one I'll put closer to the front line. And with that, I will also set up the AA team to be right there. Alright. Back to the phone. And I also need a mortar, which I will set up to be somewhere in here, in the back. Alright, cool. Now we can just do our copy paste of everything. So 40 AI based off of rifle squad. So that's what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16, 24, 32, 40. Now we grab our DSHKs. Copy the unit on it so we don't have to do an additional 4 times. If we can get them on it, there we go. Four SPG-9s. For AA statics, that would be 9K. 3, 8. which I just made that silly mistake of putting them down before we put the unit in and copying them. And then we have 2 toes. And then, what, 10 IEDs? Yes. Small dug-in pressure plate. Which, no reason to spread them, just... Alright, there we go. I don't think we got any infantry upgrades in the last document. That's another thing we need is freaking infantry upgrades, man. Alright. And now we just start building. Some of these AOs are super small, and they're going to be super, like, freaking packed, and I'll be, like, throwing some stuff on the outskirts as well. To avoid, you know, the enemy just artillerying it, or not the enemy, the player base artillerying it in Oblivion. Actually, no, I want the toes on the MSR. Then the SPG-9s we can put around wherever. You gotta be careful with SPG-9s, though. For whatever reason, they're just very, very quick to tip over on their tripods. So I think here is, like, the maximum angle you want to do it. Otherwise, you know, they'll just flip. And it's like, oh, okay. Oof. I have no idea how I'm gonna fit 40 infantry in here, but you know, we're gonna try. Big-ass garrison. No, we have 10 IEDs. It's 2 toes. And I get that, Gondor. Just there's specific questions I want to ask, but I know for a fact if I start thinking of way too many mission files, I'm not gonna get that far. So I'm just gonna be spending, you know, today and tomorrow. Tonight I'm making 4. As crazy as that sounds. So, you know, I just don't want to get bogged down. But yeah, we'll have as many AI as I can think of to logically put in this AO, but at the same time, I know they're just going to 270 it. So I'm not going to put all the AI in here. It's going to be just what I want, because I don't want to metagame it either and, you know, well, they're just going to 270 it, but I mean, then you could flip it and say, well, logically, the enemy should also adapt if every site's getting artilleried to hell. Alright, and then the rest we can just put on, like, outskirts areas. The real trick is going to be, where do I put the IEDs? Oh, there's what's that? Go to bed. What the hell is bed, dude? Arma 3 ain't done with me yet. We got missions to make. I'm only on mission 2, bro. There's like 2 more to make after this. Can you imagine my productivity after there's little Lirus running around, bro? I gotta squeeze out every productive hour I can. Imagine this stream with a crying baby in the background. Good God. Oh. Yeah, you're getting that confused. It's not the furry suit, it's that purple body paint and the horns, you know, to make her look like that one demon chick from that one Der Pixon animation. That's what you're getting it confused with, buddy. But it's okay, I forgive you. Honestly, anyone looks at, you know, some sort of fancy equipment, they might just think automatically it's a furry suit because that's how mainstream it is. But yeah, I get you. I get you. It's fine. I forgive you. Alright, that's 1 AO done, 4 to go, and then I think that's actually it. Oh, no, the IEDs. We can't leave them in a strip like that. Even though that would be pretty funny. Oh, Guardian, you're good. How are you doing? Just doing AO dev, and then maybe I can find bed. You know, I'm gonna be honest, that would be the logical thing to do with them, is to put the IEDs by, like, fallen tree trunks and whatnot, but I don't know where they're gonna specifically start moving on contact and taking cover in what areas, so it's just a total guess. Plus, I'm going to be honest, the IEDs are also meant to be like an anti-vehicle deterrent as well, so sometimes I do want to put them in the more open areas just so I can try to hit their vehicles. Is it a little dubious? Yes. But it's against Wolf Siege, so I don't care. Don't get me wrong. I love all my players. I try to treat them equally, but... Oh... I don't think there is an Arma player that I have tried more to satisfy than that one guy. And nothing will satisfy that man. And it's like, alright, F it. Yeah. I mean, it's all in good fun. I try not to be overly malicious, but, you know. Once in a blue moon, there is a guy. And I ain't scared to deal with that no more. It's time for Liru's Villain Arc. Fuck it. I'll let y'all judge me on them. I'll teleport them into a circle. It has a bunch of goats, and the next thing you know, a few dozen shadow men come out and start eating the poor bastard alive. Why? Because why not? Yeah, Wolf does do it to himself, and it's funny to watch. Because I just kind of sit here, and I'm like, you... Any logical person would not have put themselves in situation XYZ, and you have somehow done so. But hey, some people's brains work differently. And my mama said I had to be nice to people. And I do like tripwires and doorways. However, when it comes to pay for campaign, ironically enough, in the mission dev and the unit placement, I tend to be a bit nicer because, well, the pain is going to come from the viewer base. And if there's already too much pain on the frickin' map, then what's the point in paying for pain when the pain already exists? So, you know, I gotta give you guys something standard, but show something that'll actually show pain working properly. Which is why I'm still individually placing every unit in key areas, which will keep them into cover, and spreading them out across these multiple buildings, because I know their new strategy is to arty the shit out of everything, so hopefully something survives. But even if it doesn't, I'll just spawn more. No one can stop me. Actually, it's not me they gotta worry about, it's you. Y'all and your wallets. Can you imagine if something went viral on TikTok and then we had to pay for pain with all of those people? Actually, no, I can't imagine it. They're all a bunch of frickin'... What is it, Gen Alpha and the other one that's below Millennial? They're all broke. Millennials are broke. They ain't paying for shit. They ain't paying for pain. I don't need to cater to that. Never mind. I thought I was going somewhere with that, but nope. I just reminded myself which people have money and which don't. It's actually, I think, come out recently that boomers are, like, the wealthiest generation so far. And then millennials are, like, one of the poorest, and it's like, damn. But, yeah, it's kind of how it works right now. Regardless, my job is to make y'all smile during these events. We'll be continuing Pay for Campaign, and then in 2 Saturdays from now, we will have a single Pay for Pain one-off, and we'll be spending the standard week before advertising it and whatnot. Which might also give Pog that break time, which they need. But that's because I promised Hellfire a Pay for Pain at the end of their, you know, Arsenal run. And I will be adding emus to that one, too, so we can have killer emus one-tap the players for funsies. We'll see how many of them we can make rage quit. That's all up to you. Oh, I just heard movement upstairs, like my fiance is about to kidnap me. Which sucks, because I still have like 2.5 AOs I need to make. Oh, and then I'm gonna get further behind. You know... maybe I shouldn't have gone and played pickleball Saturday, man. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to the carnival. I have too much to do. Too much to dev. And there's never enough time. You know, I might actually be able to make that. Like a custom composition of a Chad Emu with fluffers riding on his back. The sword, I don't know. But I could potentially put like an invisible 50 cal turret. That's an auto turret. Ooh. Corn, you might have just struck gold with that one, buddy. We, Now I'm thinking about it. And when my ADHD ass starts thinking about something, yeah, no, we could make that. We could definitely make that. Here, let me check my phone. See if she sent me something. Nope. But if she really wants me upstairs, she'll just come down here and pull me off of the computer. She's already done it before. Which means I work quicker. And if she does, that just means I will do my best to try to wake up early in the morning and continue working, and then probably fail, and then... oops. But hey, at least I tried. Alright. This position, which I've garrisoned once before... but we're re-garrisoning it with fresher units. And then I want one hidden AA piece in the back. away from where I know for a fact they're going to already spam the shit out of me. Get it in between the tank trap so the missiles don't accidentally hit the tank trap. Ham's favorite role. Well, I know Hellfire's also working on their own custom composition requests. I think Ham DM'd me asking me, hey, if we were to, like, take a Sea-Wiz and attach it to the bottom of a helicopter, would that work? Because I know you've mentioned in the past if you rotate vehicles and static compositions past a certain point, they don't work anymore. Also, don't put RPGs in the buildings. They'll kill themselves with the RPGs. And although it's really funny, there's nothing really painful about that except staring at the AI and the chucklehead who put it there and going, brah, why would you? But yeah. If they arty me, yes, I can use a mortar. I have no way to tell where the arty's coming from, though, because I don't have any sense of counter battery radar. And if they HIMAR me from the bottom left corner, my mortar probably isn't going to reach there. And the reason why I don't let people buy artillery and pay for pain unless it's like specifically curated against players in the field is that then we would just have a bunch of people potentially buy stuff to spawn camp, and it would just be an hour of someone being on a server to get blown up immediately. And while that would probably make me a few $100, that wouldn't be worth trashing the entire morale of my player base. And I think that's the most difficult thing that most people can't seem to grasp in a pay for pain is how to actually balance your player base's morale, because that is incredibly important. Which is why we shifted to doing the outskirts areas and deliberate choke points so, you know, the players wouldn't get bogged down. As we got all this fun, fancy stuff. Arty isn't going to crash the server unless you're spamming cluster bombs, but even then, I mean, we had a cluster bomb missile spammer on a 270 and the server was tanking it like a champ, so the reason why it used to crash servers is because back then when we only had the 32-bit executable, you would take away so much of the processing power of the server through its memory with all of the bomblets spawning and calculating percentages of, you know, which ones turned into UXOs, that you could actually memory leak the server. Now with a 64-bit and you're using a lot more memory, I forget the exact ratio, I think it's like 2 megabytes versus now like 64 or 32 or 64 gigs, whatever it's loading. I mean, that's thousands times more stuff to work with. It's still a finite resource though. So if you don't have your server keyed and some people loaded shit that they weren't supposed to, you will eventually crash the server. That's what happened during Doxing on Saturday. Someone loaded JSRS and made the server freak out because the server did not have JSRS loaded. And we caused a memory leak that just killed the server. It was a quiet kill. No yellow chain, just everything desynced in place. But it happens. But yeah, someone asked me earlier in the day, because I mentioned during doc stream, at first I thought it was a potential DDoS, because the server had a slowdown period, and then a few moments later, I want to say in seconds, that's when everything purely slowed down. And then when I checked the RPT, I saw a lot of network errors, and that's why my brain was like, oh, okay, this might be malicious. And then I had to scroll all the way up, I think it was 28,000 lines of code, before I found, you know, the previous error message that then led to it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why. But when you DDoS an Arma 3 server, there's no way to really officially confirm it through the server's RPT. Now, if you have Wireshark or another application on your server where you're able to track inbound and outbound packets, then it's easy to confirm because you're just going to find a log of a bunch of IPs pinging your server with obnoxious amounts of data. But with an Arma 3 RPT, how you tell is as the server gets bogged down with all that network traffic, it starts dropping the network messages between the clients, and that'll come up in the form of network errors that at the same time also can look like other things in game, like what happened with the JSRS mod issue. All right, that AO's done. Moving to the next. The trick in telling them apart without, access to Wireshark or something is finding an error message. I'm not going to do infantry, I'm going to do the vehicles first. Or not vehicles, excuse me, statics. But it's finding an error message that predates it. So in the JSRS example, that wasn't the only time that error message fired. It fired a few different times, and then it gave some small network errors. No, that's not the right way to say it. It gave similar network errors, but it only gave like 20 of them. But they were the exact same error codes as the one that, eventually killed the server and spammed, 28,000 times. Now, those error codes, I'm going to be honest, don't mean anything, but if the server's generating the same number, it's like both a number and a letter combination. After it detects something in an instance, then you can bridge those as similar. Especially if, you have an error saying the server did not know how to parse this audio file properly or this sound file properly. And then if you get 28,000 errors, then you know. But here's the thing. I know that sound files can crash you out in Arma 3. For those of you that have been with me for a while, and once in a blue moon, I have this one issue with RHS, for example, where I really do not like being near their tanks or their Urals if I don't have to. Because once in a while, and this happened recently actually with one of the Ukraine training missions, but every time I went next to a tank, it would crash me because the sound file wouldn't play properly, and then it would just black me out. And then I'd, either Arma would crash or I'd have to quickly Alt F4 Arma because it was memory leaking me so hard that can, fuck up my entire computer. But that exact same crash happened on the server with docs file with JSRS because, yeah, if the fucking game doesn't know how to load your shit properly for sound files, it will just fuck you up. It'll just break your game immediately. And, well, the server is really just a client-side instance on the server. It's just there's no monitor to watch everything. It's just, one extra machine as far as the game's concerned. Right, I'll go. Wolf, I'll take a look. Oh, yeah, no. So, I used to use auto garrison features all the time. The issue with auto garrison is they don't have any rhyme or reason of where they're putting units. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not really doing... Normally, I'd be, putting the marksmen and the RPG gunners up high and whatnot. I still am making sure I'm not putting the RPG gunners in, areas where if they fire that RPG, they won't kill themselves. I'm making sure they're not doing that part, at least. But, auto garrison would only work for infantry. It wouldn't work for statics. And that only works in Zeusing, not in Eden Editor. And I prefer to have all my stuff pre-made because, what if the mission file just magically crashes or we run into a bug where I have to, restart it? Oh no, the 30 minutes I spent garrisoning all these units, now I have to completely redo that and waste everyone's time. Which is exactly why I don't like working with Reforger at the moment, because there's no mission editor, and if that exact thing happens, and it does a lot, you just lose that time. And this is coming from a guy who wants to make 2.5 more mission files tonight. Time's very important when it comes to this shit. But I used to use that auto garrison feature a lot more with a mod called Ares and a mod called Achilles. Ares was the first Zeus mod. Achilles was its, not predecessor, that's the opposite side. That would be, Ares would be the predecessor of Achilles. Successor, that's what I'm looking for. And then Zen is the successor of Achilles, and it does have an auto garrison feature, but I like to garrison my units differently, which is why I like to just quickly do them by hand, because I like to choose the exact placement, but compared to pre-positioned positions in a building, and that's even if that building has pre-positioned AI. Custom buildings don't have those, so you'd have to manually put them in anyway. But most people will just hit that button and then it'll just put, like, let's say I put these 40 down, it'll just evenly put them across all these buildings. And some of these buildings I don't need to put AI in. I really just need to spread these guys out, put them in positions where I know that this AO is going to get hit with a shit ton of artillery, so I want to put them in some positions where they can potentially survive that. I'm going to put a turret in here for shits and giggles. But, you know. Actually, where the fuck was that? Was that? Yeah, no, I just pulled that from somewhere else in the AO. Whoops. So, like, I shouldn't be putting a marksman in there, but, I mean, the fact that that's CQC, he should be going up here instead. But I've already explained that, you know, for Pay4Campaign, I'm doing things a little differently because that, the difficulty when, you know, viewers actually pay for pain is going to be a little more noticeable. Yeah, and then sometimes if there's not enough garrison positions, it'll just put AI on top of previous positions too, which is also a pain. I've had to fight Arma 3 human centipedes before, and it's not fun because they just absorb each other's fire through their hitboxes unless you're using a high-powered AP ammunition. But even then, if there's like more than 3 dudes, even 50 cals will not penetrate through multiple people. Beyond, like, you know, 3 to 5. It's a pain in the butt. Mod issue for H3VR. Ugh. What's H3VR? My brain immediately thinks Homeworld 3, but yeah, Homeworld 3 is a fucking... Oh, alright, there's a difference between something I'm passionate about and ranting over versus my job, which is Arma 3 in this case, but Homeworld 3, goddamn. Fuck modern gaming. Arma 3 via Congo line, yeah, right? Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Nice. I'll admit, I don't know of that one. But yeah, Homeworld 3, my original plan was to come back to it after 3 months. I think it's been that month. They've added a few things. And I have zero interest in going back into it right now. Like, there's other things I would get into first again. And I've made a list of them. And even if I were to get into those now, it would keep me busy till the end of the year. But I still have till... I gotta finish everything by the end of this month to start getting into that stuff. But, ugh. You're randomly use this QA for the modder, so you're biased. Fair. Here, that's another RPG gunner, so I kind of want to put them in a more open spot. Yeah, that should be mostly spread out. I don't have the rear positions there because they're going to be coming from over there. And these IEDs I'm going to randomly sort out over here. It's okay to be biased. Just means you're passionate about things. I'm going to be honest, though, you have to have a thick skin. Because there's so many snowflakes out there that are very quick to tear you down and use very big words that they do not understand to just rile you up. Oh, the world's gone a bit crazy with that shit. Ay, ay, ay. But what can you do? Sadly, nothing. Just take it on the chin and move on. Toe's bigger than that, right? Okay, cool. I'll use this as a Overwatch toe position then. Normally I'd do a bit of ZEI templating, but there's already so much shit on this map that it's not really needed. Oh, damn. Peacemaker is using some very big words there. And actually, I know what all three of those mean, even though the middle one is really just for a frickin' Zon, but suffice to say. Damn, honestly, I could probably stay up till 4 a.m. and make these other two mission files. This last one, though, I'm just trying to think in terms of time right now. Because I kind of do want to go upstairs and snuggle the shit out of Bloodwing. It's growing on me. And then I just, you know, try to wake up early, fail miserably, and then I'll see you guys at 10 a.m. Okay, no, Glenn, I'll admit, I don't even know that one. Define it. Oh, no, you haven't defined above it. You have the wrong one. Pfft. Oh, that's what I was gonna do tomorrow, too. I need to look into frickin' wedding venues. Because Bloodway and we found a really good one, and then their parents kinda tore that down. So Bloodwing found a few more, and I was gonna look and try to find some others. Ugh. That one sucked. Because it sucks to find something that, you know, you love and you could really make it your own and then get told, nope, logistics-wise, can't do it. And it's like, oh, okay. Focus. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be an admin day of me basically just doing a lot of mission dev, doing a lot of background stuff, working on a lot of homebrew stuff, and wedding venues. Ugh. I'm going to be honest, like that's actually eaten up a lot of my time this month. And the last week of September was just doing a lot of information, grabbing for wedding venues, and then touring. God, I think we're at 5 now? I hate being an adult. But of course, you're in that impossible situation of not realizing just how much free time you had as a kid. And you could have been doing so much more with that free time, damn. I have regrets in that department. Not actual regrets, but you know. I'm not gonna be a master homebrewer at frickin' 16, but damn. I could have tried. That's okay, I'll probably get there when I'm 30. I think my latest thing is trying to make a good elderflower mead. And I found a few new methods I want to try. Because I already have one that's really, really good off of I think a YouTube video. I just want to make a few minor tweaks to a few things, and that experiment's almost done. I'll be able to try it, see if my hypothesis was correct, and then I'll have my own take on something, which I love. Oh god, y'all in chat are just pronouncing big words now. I'm gonna be honest. Bloodwing's the big word speaker in the household, alright? I'm just the freaking math chuckle fuck that takes care of all the finances. Like, I can chug credit cards for days. I've never paid $1 in interest. I never will. But, you know, investments, banking, any way to squeeze money out of money, I can do that in a heartbeat. Big words? I have no fucking idea what you're saying. And that's one of the many, many reasons why Bloodwind and I pair so well together. And then, not just big words, but words of different languages. I've been trying to learn Greek on and off over the past few years, and my brain just cannot wrap its damn frontal cortex around it. I barely got by an IB degree for having a language requirement. That was French. 5 years of French in high school and middle school was, God, the bane of my goddamn existence. I still don't know how I pulled it off at the end. It was just brute force of me memorizing shit like 2 days before an exam. Yeah, I barely speak English myself. I mean, sometimes I misspeak or slur my words while I'm streaming, and I just play it off as, oh, it's because I'm drinking. I'm not drinking. I'm just retarded. And, you know, I think I can actually say that about myself, because I genuinely took an IQ test one time, and it did say I was slightly retarded. But I think that was also because I was, like, dead tired at 3 a.m. And I think at that point, anyone would be mentally handicapped in that state. All right, let me do a boot test. I know it's going to fail right now because it needs some other files copied in. There we go. Get those in. Perfect. What's sleep? Yeah, exactly. Here, and while we're doing this boot test, I'll go look in the DayZ channel at what Ghost Wolf is trying to do to me. Oh, come on, Ghost Wolf. I need you back on DayZ, buddy. Come on. I'm craving that damn server. God. I keep scrolling down and seeing the NSFW channels, and I'm like, I don't want to go there, man. Oh, that's not a bullet, that's a butt plug. Why are we firing butt plugs at people? That's wrong, bad, you should feel bad. Don't do that. Alright, so Pog I know will at least get, if chat's being really evil, we'll at least get these two done, maybe start hitting that one. If chat's being nice, we'll be able to get all 5 of those done. And then dividing the rest, this will be an AO, this will be an AO with that. This will be an AO, and I'll put some camps up here to hit, and then this will be like another 2 or 3 AOs, so that's what, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's still like 6 or 7 mission files to do. And we are, I think, over halfway on the document, so there is still a chance of this all ending in nuclear hellfire. A bullet plug? Alright, those work fine. Respawn timers I'm not going to test because they've already been tested. Garrison indicators are fine. Yeah, I can align turrets fine, and the game will still go, nope, they're misaligned. Alright, so it's a Dishka, an SPG-9. I don't know how, but fine. Toe, Dishka, SPG-9. All of those are fine. I'm not seeing any yellow symbolism. All of these are fine. I'm wondering, I'm curious, if I were to put the... so there it's fine, there it's fine. Yeah, if I put it sideways, that's when it... yeah. So static is fine, but when they start searching and spinning around, that's when it screws them over. Meanwhile, this AO... all that's fine. this AO, all that's fine. All right, let me make those changes. Right, Ghost, we'll have a good morning. Or, no, it should be morning for you. Are you European? I always forget. Oh, and I forgot to assign these IEDs. Haha, silly me. This is why we check. Oh my god, Ghost Wolf, no, you're South African. Why am I... See, this is why I don't work past midnight. Duh, fucking hell. Why did I think you were British for half a minute? Europe is a myth? Honestly, with how it's going with certain reforms right now, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it turns that way later. Alright, so you're doing that because of that hit clip box. And then that boot test was fine. Respawn test should be fine. Yep. Alright, cool. Save, export that piece. Now it's 1:30. Alright. I'm gonna go to bed. Because it's been 2 hours.